If you're looking to cut weight on your motorcycle, then you can save thousands by just upgrading the parts in the right order. I wanted to know the best dollar per pound savings on a motorcycle. So I did some research and made this list of the best value for money savings that you could make on upgrades. Before I go to the list, I need to talk about a couple of features of weight savings on a motorcycle though, which makes the pounds saved not necessarily exactly equal. The first of which is unsprung weight. So unsprung weight has handling benefits over sprung weight. The unsprung weight on your bike is essentially anything that has to move in response to the surface that you're riding on, so it moves by the suspension compressing and extending. The lower the unsprung weight, the better the contact with the road, and so the better handling and faster response to you shifting your weight on the bike. So all this is just to say, if two options have a similar dollar per pound saving, but one is unsprung weight, then you should go for that one. Similarly, for rotational weight, the main benefit of reducing the rotational weight is increased acceleration. The engine has to get the part rotating as well as pushing the bike forward, so rotational weight is saving rotational weight is better than saving static weight. You want your power, the power from your engine, to go into pushing the motorcycle forwards rather than spooling up the rotational components. Right. The first three items on my list are actually free ways of saving weight off your motorcycle. The first is simply to just remove the passenger pegs. If you don't carry passengers, then the passenger pegs on your motorcycle are just wasted weight. You can save about £2 by removing them. Just on some motorcycles you can unscrew them, on others it may be a little bit more complex, so just make sure you find out about how to do that first. Next up is, and this is a fairly small weight saving, but it makes the top of the list because it's free, that's steel feelers, the steel feelers on your foot pegs. These are basically there to make sure that if you're getting too close to the ground on the turns, that you don't keep going. Some bikes won't have them. If not, great, you've kind of already saved that weight already, but if they do, remove them. They're really just a safety feature which many consider unnecessary. Next up, and the final free way to save weight, for this list anyway, is reflectors. Slightly dubious maybe. Some people might want to keep them just for safety reasons, but if you're not doing much riding at night, then you can save not about £0.50 by just removing the reflectors. Most of them are either screwed on or stuck on, so just remove them, easy. Right, now we're getting into paid options, but there are some great ones here. The first and the sort of most unbelievable value for money weight saving that you can possibly make is by upgrading your lead acid battery to a lithium ion one. A lot of people, when they first feel a lithium ion battery, don't believe that it's a real battery. They kind of think it's a display prop, and that when they get the box it's going to weigh much more. In actual fact, these are light. They weigh barely anything, and you can easily save 15 to 20 pounds on an upgrade, and they're not expensive. $70 for a lead acid battery. Of course, some of the some smaller bikes will have a smaller battery and your weight savings will be less, but still, this is by far and away the best value for money saving that you can make on a motorcycle. Next up is the rear fender. Now you can save about £3 by just removing the rear fender. In the UK here, technically you can't do it, and the authorities are pretty strict about it, so this is not necessarily going to work here, but in other places people aren't so strict, and you can just remove the fender. Like I said, in the UK you had to have your license plate in a particular place. You can't do that without a rear fender. It's going to cost you about $70 because you're going to need to replace it with a non-stock version that's lighter. But yeah, check your local laws and see if this option's available to you. Next up is replacing your stock mirrors with bar end mirrors. With bar end mirrors, you get well, not only do you get massive weight savings, probably about £2, but you can also you also get a wider field of view with bar end mirrors, which is great. Also, added benefits of aerodynamic efficiency. You don't have those mirrors sticking out the side. Some people don't like removing the mirrors. I personally think you might as well if you put bar end mirrors on the end, because you actually get better vision anyway. So, but you know, personal preference. Right. Next up on the value for money journey is exhaust. This is one of the first upgrades that many people do on a motorcycle, upgrading the exhaust. And it actually has the biggest gains, some of the biggest gains in many ways. Because you not only save weight, but you also increase the horsepower of the bike often, and you also look cooler and sound cooler. So for the biggest weight savings, you want to replace the can. You can also remove the catalytic converter and upgrade their header. And for about $500, you can save a good, decent few pounds on this. Next on the list is changing from a double to a single seat. If you're not carrying any passengers, if you don't carry passengers very often, or if you never carry passengers, then you might as well upgrade to a single seat. It's probably going to cost you a few $100s. They're all custom made pretty much, so it's hard to estimate exactly how much it will cost, but yeah, a £4 saving for a few $100s. It's pretty good value for money. Next up, if you need to scratch your carbon fiber itch, then you should get a carbon mudguard. That's going to knock off about £1 of weight from your bike, and it's going to cost you about $100. So we are looking at sort of carbon fiber money here. $100 for a little piece of tiny little piece of carbon fiber about that big, but it's good value for money, and it's going to keep the mud off your bike, which is going to save additional weight. And finally, for this list anyway, braided brake hoses. Believe it or not, these this is a good value for money way to save weight on your motorcycle. Now, I wouldn't necessarily recommend upgrading your brake hoses just to save weight, but perhaps next time you're going to be replacing them or maintaining them, just buy a more expensive lightweight set, and think about rerouting the hose, because this can also save a lot of weight. Just by making the hose shorter, you can save about £1 on your bike. So these are the top 10 most cost-effective ways of saving weight on your motorcycle. But the list doesn't stop here. I actually calculated the dollar per pound of weight saved for each of these on the list, and some more. So and I posted them on my website, weighthq.com. Just follow the link in the description to see the full list. Cheers.